Well, my goodness, this is my like number one favorite topic. So here we go. I'm just like, okay, let's start, because I am a businesswoman. I want to do things effectively, efficiently. I'm also from the UK, we like things orderly. We like things to, in a certain way. We like all these different types of things. And when I found the life activation, I I didn't understand what it had done when I received the life activation. I didn't understand what it had done exactly, but I knew everything was going to be okay in that moment. Something inside of me told me everything was going to be okay. And now, with my years of training and of now sharing this with others, I understand why. And the life activation is probably the most effective tool I have ever come across for helping us get plugged back in to our original blueprint. Now, why is that important? Well, that's hugely important because when we are plugged back in, we call it plug back in, but really it means in alignment. It's in alignment. When you're in alignment, you can see clearly on your path all the little steps that you need to take. You might not understand why you need to take them, or indeed, might not understand where they're going to lead, but slowly but surely you take these steps, and all of a sudden your life is transformed in a very short period of time. And that is because all of the DNA, we have 24 strands of DNA, 12 physical, 12 spiritual. And when we do the life activation, it awakens 22 strands of the 24. Now, what that does, it helps us to remember what we're here to do, remember the contracts, remember all these things that bring us joy, but it also gets rid of the stuff that no longer serves us. So it's doing like loads of different things all at the same time. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but I'm not going to bore everybody with all like the step-by-step details.
I mean, as much as you want to say, people love it.
Yeah, and it's fantastic because it's doing all of these different things at the same time. And I always make a joke, and say, look, its actual purpose is to help someone remember what their purpose is, to help them remember what their piece of the puzzle is, right? Because ultimately, we all know, don't we, what our purpose is.
That's right.
The biggest question. It's like, so obviously that's solved life activation. Let's just do it. That's great. But then it does a gazillion other different things. It brings healing in, it brings balancing in, it helps us flow abundance, creativity, it helps us connect to the universe, to our God self, to divinity. It helps us to elevate and raise our vibration. I mean, my goodness, what doesn't it do? I think would be an easier question. So for me, that happens in one session. And that is the beauty of lineage and the power of a lineage. And I think this is really important to say, the life activation isn't something that somebody just made up overnight and this it's not what it is. The life activation is from the lineage of King Solomon. King Solomon, our lineage is over 3,000 years old, and King Solomon was very wise because he knew there was going to be a time when people would need to remember who they really are and what they're here to do. Because when we have that in place, we can live in a place that we call Shambhala, but it's been known as many different things. Utopia, Shangri-La, I mean, many different things. Basically, it means heaven on earth. So it means no suffering, that we're all living in joy. Of course, we'll have challenges and obstacles to overcome, but it's not a place of suffering, so very different world to what we're living in now. And the life activation is a key part of that process. And it comes through a very ancient lineage. And this was tried and tested for many, many, many years in King Solomon's temple, and was handed down to the high priests, high priestesses, and then filtered down from master to teacher over the years, until such a time would come when humanity was ready. And that time came in 1997, when the mystery school was open to the public, and that became no more secrets, no more lies. And a lot of your listeners will have heard about that time, and that's what that time allowed us to start sharing these tools so that everybody could enjoy them. So going back to your other question, when people are so paralyzed, or so so overwhelmed and can't do anything, my recommendation is go and get a life activation, because you don't have to process it through the mind.
That's right.
You don't really have to think about it. You just have to find a practitioner, and we can help you do that. There's lots of them all over the world. And you sit down and you're in that session for an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it is. And you will receive that light and that ability to connect into your, to your purpose. And that will set you on a course to help you live a life of joy. So, the life activation for me is the number one healing tool. And, I'm a doctor of natural medicine, so I've studied a lot of different modalities and a lot of different systems. I've experienced a lot of different lineages and things like this. And this by far is the best, most effective tool that I have ever come across. So thank goodness, thank goodness we have it.